Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Today's review is of the NKJV Clarion Reference Edition in black goatskin. This Bible was sent to me in exchange for an honest review. So here is the NKJV Clarion box, standard Cambridge box here, hinged opening. So if you want to see the back here, I will let you pause that right there so you can read it. And likewise right here, if you want to get rid of that ISBN and read a little bit about Cambridge University Press. As you can see, it does have a really nice grain to the goatskin. I do want you to be aware up front, it is a stiffer goatskin. Most Cambridge Bibles like this are. My Cameo started out just the same way, but now it's really soft and supple, as you can see. Flops open really nice. The text is not going to be as dark as the Cameo. This is a photocopy of the 1920s font type, medieval, I do believe. Yeah, it's medieval Clarendon, an 8-point. So as you can see, it's real similar to the Cameo in size. Just a hair wider, about the same length, and not much thicker really. So let's start with that. The measurements: 7.5 inches by 5 5/8 inches, and 1 5/8 inches thick. The text block is 7 inches by 5 3/8 inches, and 1.5 without the cover thick. So here you get these cards. If you want to pause that, you're more than welcome to do so and read that. Get my finger out of the way here. As well as this, more than welcome to pause to read this. This one will have 2 sides. Gives you their email, phone number, address, and about the limited warranty. So as you see right off the bat, the Bible is perimeter stitched. The spine has 5 tooled hubs. Cambridge gold embossed stamping here with Holy Bible and New King James Version. The ribbons are similar to the Cameo. This one has a little bit of fraying going on. Nothing, a real quick pass with a lighter will not fix. No big issue there. It will have gold embossed lettering of reading goatskin leather cover on the inside. This synthetic liner, if anybody has one of these or has seen one of these, it's almost like a clear, glossy coat on the inside, but it will break in nice. Again, these are stiff when you first get them out of the box, but they do break in and they will lie flat, just like this Cameo. It will lie super flat, even from the beginning. Right there's in Genesis. On a table, it lies flatter, obviously. If you've seen the pictures of mine on Everything Bibles, you can see them there. If you want to go there, I'll put a link to the Facebook page to Everything Bibles so that you can follow everybody on there as well and see some amazing Bibles. So here's a simple presentation page on matte finished cardstock, just how I like it. It is Smith sewn, as you can see there. Here's the cover. The title page to the Holy Bible, King James Version. It has a crease on it, and this is not bad because a lot of times those will be ate up anyhow by the Bible. The Holy Bible title page, there's always 2 of them, most Bibles. This one will have the NKJV logo, the Cambridge University Press logo, and it will tell you what it is here. It's a Clarion reference. Cambridge is really good at getting information about the Bible and their title pages and their copyright, as you will see. If you pause here, there's plenty of information there. And here will tell you it's bound in the Netherlands, and it'll tell you about font type and all of that, which I will mention here in just a second anyway. a few minutes. Table of contents. Books of the Bible in alphabetical order. Preface to the New King James Version. Highly recommend you read that. I read it again last night. It's quite interesting. They give a lot of credit to King James, obviously, because this is what this is based off of. Here's the special abbreviations. Old Testament title page. And you get right into the text. The amazing, beautiful layout of this Bible. This is a single column, paragraph format. References are on the outside here, which I love. If you know, I'm a big fan of the TVS, and they have the references on the outside of the two columns in the KJV. So if you're reading along, like in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, the A, it'll be bold reference, 1:1. It'll be near the verse, Psalms 102:25. It'll tell you to turn there. And then B will be for right here. And 1:2. These are all references for 1:1. 1:2 will be here. 2. I don't find it hard to find the verses. As you can see, they are set apart. On camera, it seems more like you are reading in the gutter than you are. I'm going to say that right now, and I'll show you an example of that with a ribbon here in a minute. There is more gutter space than appears on camera. So, you know, if you're in church and you're looking 1, obviously, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on, 10, 11. They're not real hard to find. Where you would probably have the most troubles if you're trying to find a reference. If you were trying to find references, there's numbers, you know, like 3 here, and that's going to be a footnote. When the numbers they're numbers, that means there's a footnote. So if you come over to 6 here and look for 3, it'll tell you expanse, a firmament, expanse. So that's kind of how that reference system works. This is a beautiful Bible. It is line matched, and on the font, it is 8.75 font with a 10.5 leading. Leading is, so it's like from the bottom to the bottom of this one here, this white space above the text, it's 10.5. That makes it very readable, and that in combination with the fact that it's line matched, I always end up showing you guys line matching through means of natural sunlight. If I can get one page here, that would help. There we go. There you go. As you can see, very good line matching going on. So only time you're going to get ghostings in the white area. This does advertise ultra thin, smooth and opaque, lightweight paper. It is lightweight, it is thin, you can tell. It is smooth as well. So they're as advertised, and it is opaque. No problem reading this. It's bold enough. It's not as bold as a Cameo, obviously. But if you look at the Cameo's 8-point compared to this 8.75 Lexicon 1, it is very readable all the same. And then a lot of that has to do with contrast of the Bible being closer, because this is definitely, when you're with the naked eye and not on camera, it's definitely a more clear and bigger font. This is obviously bolder. I know I would like to see Cambridge. If anybody from Cambridge watches this, I would love to see you guys. Obviously, you can't necessarily do the font that you do in the Cameo, and not necessarily would anybody want that, but they would love to. Many people I've talked to would love to see this Cameo in other translations. Verse by verse would be amazing as well, and bold. You want to keep it bold. Anyhow, back to the Clarion. I just wanted to mention that while I could, before I forgot. So we're in Genesis, and then the poetry is just absolutely beautiful on this Bible. It's verse by verse, and the way they put the verse numbers on the outside like this is just absolutely aesthetically pleasing. And this ghosting here, you'll see, obviously, is bold print 78, and that would be on the adjacent page to this page on the other side. Yes, you're going to see that, but it's not bothersome when you're reading the text. Your eyes aren't focusing on that, and it's not as bad as with the camera. It's a slight bit better with the naked eye. Again, all of us Bible reviewers can't stress enough how these cameras pick up a lot more than you see with a naked eye. I wanted to show you something as well. This is a little hint for those of you that do reviews. I wanted to show you the gold on the Cambridge. So there's the Cambridge gold. Cambridge does a really super good job at their gold. But the hint I want to show you, maybe some people know, some people don't, is when you're trying to show off that salmon pink or red under gold. This is considered red under gold, but we Bible aficionados call it salmon. So if you hear the term salmon, know it's red under gold. So the red under gold, the blue under gold, the blue under silver, the red under silver, whatever it may be, you can really show off that contrast by holding the page like this and just letting it fall forward. So if you see that gold and it goes into that red like that, really nice. See, there you go. There's a good shot of it. Kind of just gradually let that page fall. You see the gold into the red there. Very nice way of doing it. These pages are very forgiving. If you've noticed, especially if you're any kind of Bible aficionado, you've noticed that I just wrinkled that just as I was flipping that over to show you guys. This will work out on its own by being closed. I have already done that a couple times. It's easy to do. It's thin paper, but it's very forgiving. It will flatten right back out. So no worries there. This is Cambridge has some of the best paper. So again, I can't stress enough how I love the fact that this is set up like this in the poetry. NKJV being one that will actually separate. They'll put it together if it belongs together. Perfect example. Don't have to flip through a lot. Proverbs 30 today. Proverbs 30. I said today because I read this today, sorry. Proverbs 30, they'll show you the ones that have the same context, so to speak, will be right next to each other. See 5 and 6, 7 through 9. They'll have a space to pause. That way you kind of know and you don't just read together like you would in a verse by verse. Some of them will have Pilcrow, KJV, but they won't have it often enough. It'll be more of a paragraph issue rather than a poetry. Rarely are they in the poetry. I did find it in the KJV Spurgeon, though. So here's Ecclesiastes. Again, it's still in that poetry form. Will still be in verse by verse, and then you go into the text. It'll be paragraph again. I like to show Ecclesiastes because that's a perfect example of poetry into text. The letters as well will be offset in the NKJV for those of you that don't use NKJV. That's a really well used verse, not verse, but a passage of the Bible. Ecclesiastes 3, the time to kill, time to live verses. So as I flip through here, you can just see it's easy to turn the pages. And if they get two of them at the same time, super easy to spread apart. That's amazing. That's what I like about this Bible, and Bibles like it, is the ease of turning pages. I've had Bibles that are super difficult to turn the pages, and it can be annoying because when you get two of them together and you're trying to get them apart, they won't come apart. Rarely do you even get two pages with these. Song of Solomon here. So we'll go over to the New Testament. Here's the New Testament title page or Malachi. Okay, here's the New Testament title page. Simply done. The really only time you're going to get a really fancy title page, guys, is in the KJV Cambridge's. Allen, I think, does it as well. A lot of publishers kind of do with the KJV. It's kind of a KJV trademark, so to speak. They'll have of Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. They'll say it's appointed to be read in churches. It'll tell you if the words of Christ are in red while upon the earth. If it doesn't say while upon the earth, that means it goes clear through Revelation, which I have not seen a Cambridge that does that yet, but I'm sure they're out there. Come privilegio. There we go, privilegio. Can't talk today. So that will show you all that. Just as kind of comparison of the title pages. I don't mind a simple title page. It doesn't have to be fancy. Photography wise, it's kind of cool to have the old KJV. Here's what I'm going to show you with the ribbons. The gutter issue. Many people think that you're reading the gutter. I know I've watched plenty of reviews and thought, man, that's horrible. I don't know if I could handle the Clarion, but you see there that that's a fairly wide ribbon for this gutter. But if it's in there, look, you still have space between the ribbon and the text. So don't think it's going to be horrible. This is a black letter text as well. As you can see, especially in the Beatitudes here, you would definitely have some red going on already. A major red. This whole page would be filled with red. Again, the subheadings in the NKJV and the fact that they set the letters and stuff apart, the sermons and all that. There is oblique print in this. I know one sister had said kudos to Skylar for doing that. And I know Cambridge does it as well. And they also do the italics for words that make it more clear, like place here, italics added in. They do that just like the KJV would. So if you're a fan of the KJV and you haven't really got into the NKJV, I highly suggest you get one and just to check it out. I'm going to flip through here for a little while, just talking to you guys so you can see this text, and I want to come up to an oblique part, and I probably will skip one here and there, but they stand out fairly well. They're what they are is the reference to the Old Testament and the New Testament, like when Jesus does Isaiah or Psalms, or in the epistles where the apostles will do it. Here you go. Here's one right here. Isaiah the prophet saying, see how it's an oblique. Some people call that italics. It's not really italics. It's actually oblique. They call it oblique. Italics being up here. Right here in this oblique. So it's kind of an italic, but more leaning that way than this way. So I think that's really nice, and I do agree with the sister that said that on Evangelical. I won't put her name out there just because I don't know if she wants her name put out there, but she was talking about it. She knows who she is. If you're a part of Evangelical, you know who she is. Her name will be in the, or not her name, I'm sorry. See, there I go again. Misspeaking here. The link to the Everything Bible's Facebook page will be in the description. So don't go looking for her name. You're not going to find it. I promise. Anyway, here's the end of Revelation, and it starts into the Concordance. Triple column. The Cameo would be double column. I actually prefer this Concordance over the Cameo, just because it's triple column and it's more readable, and it's not as cluttered looking as if you can see here. This is fairly cluttered, and although this one's fairly good, Concordance. If you have my Concordance, I don't have it on me right now for comparison, but this is actually fairly good Concordance in this Cameo. I think it beats the Concord only for the reason that it's legible. The Concord has a lot of inconsistency in the Concordance in my copy anyhow. So here's the Concordance, and that will be 75 pages long, excuse me. 75-page concordance. And then you get to the Cambridge Bible maps. It tells you what maps, and then the next page will be the Bible index, which I find absolutely amazing in Cambridge, because you got black for settlements, red for political, green physical land, blue physical water, purple travel, orange Jerusalem, urban places, buildings, areas. So see, they'll go with color coded up here, red, Abilene. You go to map 13, C1. And their maps are well done. This is on matte finished paper again. It's a pleasure to look through these maps when you're reading about a place and you want to go see it on the map. It just absolutely aesthetically pleasing. It feels great to the touch. Feels like you've got a premium Bible in your hand, which you do, obviously. This is a very nice Bible. I will put a link to this Bible as well in the description for Amazon, Evangelical, and even Cambridge. The reason why I do that is so that you have a variety if you want to look at different prices. I can tell you right now, Cambridge is higher than you will get. You'll pay more from Cambridge directly than you will from Evangelical or Amazon. So again, this is an NKJV Clarion Reference Bible and black goatskin. It's just absolutely amazing. A couple of cardstocks here. This here should be the ISBN again, and item number. Again, glued tabbing, and it is a pretty stiff hinge. This may be a little bit stiffer than the Cameo because of the thickness of it, but as you can see, it's already starting to lie flat. Thank you guys for watching. Hope I didn't miss anything. I tried to cover the references, the font type, the verse by verse and the poetry, the oblique, all of that, italics. So I think I've covered it all. Very, very nicely done. It's a joy to read from. I highly recommend you get a Clarion in your favorite translation. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and God bless.